Suzanne Fitzgerald came into her own office. Thank you for joining us on our podcast. We're really excited to be able to talk to you about the work that you do and to just thank you in person for the studio space and allowing us this opportunity to get together every Saturday morning. It really is amazing. And we're really appreciative of all of the support that you provide to us. And we wanted to ask you a little bit about the work that you do. You have just such an amazing curriculum. I love it. And I got a chance to be with you in Colorado just a couple weeks ago and talking to people about the curriculum that really impacts a lot of students nationwide. Can you tell just a little bit about the Steyer Fitzgerald Functional Academics curriculum that you have?
Sure. But first of all, I want to say thank you to you guys for all that you do and for the disability community and for advocating and just getting the message out there. It's really incredible. And I honestly look forward to listening to your podcasts each week. I get excited when I get the notification that a new one has been posted. So thank you for all that you do.
Yeah. And you travel a lot. I know that you download the podcast on the plane sometimes and listen to it that way. So it's a really great relationship that we have with you. A little bit about your journey. I know you were a teacher in the classroom as well, just like I was. And just can you tell the listeners a little bit about where your curriculum comes from?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, before I became a teacher, my undergrad is in human services. And in that role, I worked with children and adults with disabilities in residential, recreational, and vocational settings. And during that time, I really had a chance to see what was happening after school and what wasn't happening. And I worked mostly with adults, and I thought, I feel like there's more that can be done. And I worked with adults and children with multiple disabilities, moderate to severe disabilities. And I thought, I want to get in on another level, and I think I want to teach. But before I go back to school and get my teaching certification and my master's in special ed, I thought, I want to make sure this is what I want to do. So I became a paraeducator for a year in the Seattle School District.
Wow.
During that time, I decided, yes, this is what I want to do. So I applied to the University of Washington, and I ended up going there and getting my teaching certification and my master's in special education at the same time. And when I was going through that process, I was placed as a paraeducator in Dr. Steyer's classroom.
Okay.
During that time, we were in a high school program for students with autism. And I said to her one day, I know what I want for my students. I want them to be as independent as possible when leaving the school system.
Right.
But when I walk into my own classroom on the first day and I have all of these adults and kids staring at me, how do I know where to start? And basically she said, you don't. She goes, you just figure it out. And she said, I have this assessment tool I've always wanted to develop further, but I don't have the patience or the computer skills. I said, I do. Let's do it. So from a brand new teacher perspective and an experienced teacher perspective, we started to develop an assessment that we could use to determine each student's present level of performance. So what skills do our students have right now? And then we thought, okay, that's great. There's other assessment tools out there. You end up gathering all of this information, but then what do you do with it? So we decided to take it a step further and link it to a curriculum. At the time, we had several practicum students from the University of Washington who would do their practicum placement in our classrooms, and they started saying, hey, can we get a copy of that? We're like, yeah, go for it. So we're handing it out. Pretty soon, other teachers in the district are asking for copies. So we're like, yeah, go for it, giving it to them. They start coming back to us saying, you should add this, you should add that. And we're like, okay, so we did. Eventually, we were approached by a small publishing company, and they said, you need to publish this. And we were like, oh, so we did. We actually both still taught full-time in the classroom for the first 5 years the program was published. We pride ourselves in that because we're not university professors who haven't been in a classroom in 25 years saying, hey, this is what you should teach your kids. Since being out of the classroom, we spend as much time as we possibly can meeting with teachers, with paraeducators, parents, students, administrators, staying as well connected as we possibly can.
I think that is the power of the business that I see and your products that you provide, both products and services, that you are all about community, linking arms with other teachers just like Dr. Steyer And so that is really what I love about SDES, is that it's really a community approach, that you link arms with other teachers, paraeducators, parents, other stakeholders in the field, and do this thing together. It's really powerful.
Yeah, our goal from the beginning, honestly, was not to set out to get something published and out there. Our goal was to create a program that is useful for teachers and meaningful for students. And if we're not constantly gathering feedback and listening to those who are in the classroom using the program, the students who are using the program, then what's the point? So we really pride ourselves in taking a community approach and making adjustments as needed as times change and as we hear from teachers about what's missing and what they would like to have added or see done differently.
Right. That honest feedback from people who are in the classroom, in those real experiences, what works, what doesn't work, and not taking it personally when you're the author.
Absolutely.
It has to be something that fits with the real experiences.
Exactly. And it's not about me. It's about the students, and it's about what is going to help and work and what's needed.
Right. I am so thankful that you took the time to share with us about SDES, about functional academics. And again, if anybody wants to learn a little bit more, sdesworks.com. You can find more information about Suzanne Fitzgerald and her work with specially designed education services.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. This was fun.
It's really fun for us too. Thanks so much.